The morning in Willow Grove, Georgia, was suffocatingly still, not the tense hush Jack Kane had known in Fallujah, but the artificial calm of a suburb obsessed with perfection. Sprinklers hissed over manicured lawns, and the air smelled of fresh paint and HOA rulebooks. Jack, a retired Delta Force operator, had been here 3 days, and he already loathed it. The neighborhood was a parade of retirees walking designer dogs and neighbors like Karen, who knocked twice to gently remind him about mailbox color codes. Back in his Montana cabin, a mailbox was just a box here, it was a lifestyle statement. But Jack wasn't here for himself. His wife, Ellen, after 25 years of enduring his deployments, wanted peace. No more chaos, she'd said, unpacking a pie dish with a smile that hid her scars. Jack had nodded, promising her quiet. He should have known quiet never lasted. It was the third dawn when trouble arrived, casting 3 shadows across his lawn like a cheap action flick. Jack saw them through the blinds, 3 men in identical black polos, red HOA patches screaming self-importance. The leader, Greg, strutted with a clipboard and a puffed chest, flanked by a burly guy and a lean one, both looking like they'd been promised free protein shakes for this gig. Greg didn't knock, he pounded, 3 sharp blows, the kind that demanded submission. Jack sipped his coffee, dark and bitter, counting 6 seconds before opening the door with a slowness that made the air tighten. Greg stood there, sunglasses too small, utility belt jingling with useless gadgets. No greeting, just a barked, "Who are you, and why's that flag up?" Jack blinked, coffee steaming. "Name's Jack Kane. I live here. Bought the place Monday. Problem?" Greg shifted, trying to loom larger. "HOA's got concerns," he said, voice dripping with borrowed authority. He pointed at the flag on the porch, folded into a crisp triangle in a wooden case, a brass plaque gleaming below it. "It's oversized. Rules say it's got to go." Jack's face was stone, but a low chuckle escaped, humorless. "That flag," he said, each word deliberate, "was sewn by my wife from my last combat uniform. It's been to hell and back 3 continents, countless fights. The plaque? That's for Private Torres, who didn't come home." Greg didn't blink. "Rules are rules," he snapped. 24 hours to comply, or we'll take it down." Jack's smile was a blade. "Try it," he said, sipping his coffee. "Please." To anyone else, it was just a flag, red, white, blue, stars aligned. But to Jack, it was sacred. Ellen had stitched it 2 years ago, cutting his old uniform, the one he'd worn in Baghdad, Mosul, and that blood-soaked valley in Afghanistan where Torres took a bullet for him. Faded olive threads held memories of sweat, dust, and loss. Pinned to it were 3 patches, his Ranger tab, the 75th Regiment insignia, and a silver star, Torres's, awarded posthumously. Below, embroidered in black, was a date, August 9, 2010, the day Torres died at 22, dreaming of his mom's tamales. In Montana, that flag was a shrine, neighbors saluted it, veterans wept. Now, in Willow Grove, where grass height was a ballot issue, Greg saw it as a Code V violation. Greg didn't ask about the patches or Ellen's uneven stitches. He saw a problem to erase. 24 hours, he repeated, his lackeys shifting uneasily, sensing a line crossed. Jack's gaze was a scalpel, his voice low. "Go ahead. Try." He shut the door, the click louder than a gunshot. The next morning, tension hung like smoke. Jack felt it before his eyes opened, instincts honed in war zones humming. The security monitor glowed blue, showing 3 figures at his driveway. Greg, still playing general, with his goons, one holding a hacksaw that glinted like a predator's teeth. They were headed for the flag, Greg pointing like he was storming a bunker. Jack didn't call 911. This wasn't about cops, it was personal. He moved like a ghost, slipping on worn sneakers, a dark jacket, and a belt that anchored him to old battles. He stepped outside, silent as death. Greg didn't hear him. None of them did, too busy plotting their vandalism. The hacksaw guy laughed, a dumb, hollow sound. Jack's boots hit the grass, each step a countdown. At 5 feet he spoke, voice flat. Last chance. Greg spun, smirking. Threatening me, old man? This is HOA turf. We run this. Jack's eyes never wavered. That's your mistake, he said, and the world held its breath. The air stilled, birds hushed, clouds leaning in. Greg's laugh faltered, uneasy. Jack stepped closer, not fast, but final. The hacksaw guy swung lazily, mistake one. Jack swept his leg, an inside hook collapsing the knee. Before he hit the ground, Jack grabbed his collar, guiding him down like stacking firewood. The second guy lunged, sloppy. Jack sidestepped, locked his elbow, and twisted, dropping him softly, face in the dirt, dignity gone. Both were down, breathing, but out, instinct telling them to stay there. Greg fumbled for pepper spray, hands shaking. Jack was on him in a half-step, redirecting his wrist, sending the canister flying. He torqued Greg's arm, flipped him, and pinned him with a knee. 30 pounds of pressure, precise, no cruelty. Greg gasped, defiance melting into panic. Jack leaned close, voice a whisper. This your turf? Say that to Torres, who died for that flag. The words were a weight, carrying every sleepless night, every folded flag Jack had saluted. Greg blinked, trapped, no escape. 10 minutes later, Willow Grove was a circus. Neighbors spilled from their cookie-cutter homes, clutching coffee and phones, lawn chairs sprouting like weeds. Teens live-streamed, one whispering, "He's ex-Delta, look at him move." Her caption, HOA messed with a vet's flag. Big mistake. Views hit 15,000 as Greg wheezed in the grass, eyes wet, ego shattered. His lackeys moaned, one mumbling, the other calling for his mom like a lost kid. Jack stood calm, hands behind his back, as a police cruiser rolled up, lights flashing but lazy. 2 cops stepped out, one grizzled, one green, scanning the scene. 3 down wannabes, a buzzing crowd, and Jack, untouched, flag waving like it approved. Jack raised his hands, voice steady. Didn't hit them. Check the footage. I stopped them. The older cop eyed the flag, then Jack, a smirk flickering. Best thing I've seen all week, he muttered. Let's ride downtown, make it official. You'll be home by lunch. Jack nodded, stepping off the porch as phones recorded, Greg muttering about lawsuits no one heeded. By evening, the footage was everywhere. 4 angles of Jack's surgical takedown, no blood, just justice. Social media erupted, the flag stands trended, memes crowned Greg King of Karens. Letters flooded the HOA from veterans, Gold Star families, a senator tweeting, "This man defended honor in 60 seconds." The HOA folded, withdrawing their complaint. Greg was fired, his name erased. His lackeys vanished, one on trauma leave. The other, a college kid, slinging hammers in Ohio. Jack stayed silent, declining interviews, planting roses with Ellen. Days later, he bolted a steel plaque under the flag. This land is guarded by honor, not HOA rules. Visitors came, veterans, widows, Marines holding silent VY gills. A boy 11 gaped. You took them out in a minute? Jack nodded. Could have been faster, but my coffee was hot. Ellen watched, smiling that knowing smile. The flag flew on, stitched with pain, pride, and a promise no bylaw could break.